Hello, my name is Lucas Emodi, also known in the music industry as King Glue. I'm a music executive, a music promoter, an A&R, and executive producer.
Okay, so how do you come about your stage name?
My stage name.
Yeah.
My stage name is King Glue, and under the King Glue brand, like I said initially, my original name is Lucas Emodi. I now evolved and transitioned to King Glue when I introduced my executive producer brand and A&R brand, King Glue. And under the King Glue brand, I've been able to release a project titled The Militant Mindset. It's a full drill project featuring a bunch of artists: Odumodu Black, Vector, Scales, Dremo, and a bunch of amazing, talented artists. I A&R the project and executive produced it. My label, actually, Captive Music, A&R and produced the entire project. Yes, and aside from Captive Music, I also founded another company called People Promotions. People Promotions is a label servicing company that handles promotions for a bunch of Nigerian artists such as Tiwa, Thames, Yemi Alade, Victoni, Adekule Gold, Yarodin, Victoni, Bella Shmoda, and a bunch of them. Just help them handle their promotions in this market. And we also have like affiliations with international labels such as Def Jam, Universal, Island Records, and a bunch of these other guys. So yeah, we are really contributing our quota in the music industry in Nigeria.
Okay, how did you journey into music? How did you find yourself in music?
In the music, my journey. So yes, my journey in the music industry started in Jos, Plateau State. I was born and raised in Jos, Plateau State. I started off as a producer and a rapper in Jos. That's in 2000. That was in 2004/2005 in Jos, Plateau State. Before moving to Ghana to understudy the music industry in 2008. That's when I traveled to Ghana, worked with some of the artists, worked with some of the music executives there before returning back to Nigeria in 2014, to work as a label manager in a record label in Nigeria, here in Lagos, Nigeria, And aside from that, from being a record label manager, I used to, work with Alaba at some point in my life. I'm just trying to tell you my journey. So it's important that I highlight and mention all these things. It's extremely important to just, know my journey in the industry, what I've done so far. I was once a promoter that helps artists get a song on mixtapes, because the mixtape actually had like a huge network. So what I do is just leverage the relationship I have with most of these promoters to get the songs on their CDs. From there, I ventured into online PR. I helped artists get their songs on Not Just Okay 2 Exclusive, all those online blogs, streaming, and there was no streaming then, was downloading, free downloads. There was no streaming, just to correct myself, After that, I started my own company, and then at some point I had to pause my own company, which is People Promotions, before I got employed at Universal Music. So under Universal Music, I worked as an A&R, and at some point I was the head of promotions, and that was how my journey, really kickstarted in the Nigerian music industry full time. After 2 years with Universal, I resigned and I started my own company, People Promotions. That was how I was able to meet most of these artists that I mentioned earlier that I've worked with, from Tiwa to Thames to Yemi Alade, Vitoni, Bella Shmoda, and the host of them. Yes, we're still working with them. People Promotion is still doing its thing, and I have my own personal label called Captive Music. So Captive Music signed myself and my wife, who is also an artist, called her name is Livyland. Captive Music signed King Glue the Militant. So under King Glue the Militant brand, I was able to release Militant Mindset. So that's my journey so far in the industry.
Why music? Second, at what point did you decide it was music or nothing?
I'm going to tell you a very interesting story about this, because I always have stories tied to my journey. Why music? Firstly, I can't explain it. Music chose me. I just saw myself making music. I remember those days when I was still very, very young with my siblings. That was the cassette tape era. You know, my daddy used to have, my father had this tape. So what we do is we just press record on his tape. He has popular musicians that he loved then. Osadebe, Oliver the Cook, all those guys, the Eastern musicians. I would just take one of the cassettes, press record, and then start singing and rapping over the songs, and then automatically wiping off the songs on the record on the tape. You know, my father would beat me, but I'll keep doing it. You know, that was when I knew that I actually loved music. And then at some point, when I wanted to really go into the music industry, like music full time, I could remember my first studio session. I used I think it was money my daddy gave me for handouts. I used it to pay for studio time, you know, to record my first music, you know. Why music? I don't know why music, but music is, I feel like, is something that makes me feel alive. You know, I'm happy, you know, around music. Music is just one thing I know for sure that I'm going to build my life around. You know, it's something I love doing, and I'm happy that at least I'm making money from my passion, something I love doing most. So music has been the pathway to my success in the industry. So yeah, in this life in general. So I'm going to build my life out of music. So I think that answers it.
All right, nice. So obviously, I believe you would have done some recorded some songs before you recorded the title of songs Every Day, Abi?
Jaye Every Day was the first single off from the Militant Mindset project. Yes, yes.
So obviously you have probably done some recordings before Jaye Every Day, but Jaye Every Day seemed to be like your breakout song into the industry as an artist.
Yes.
So tell us about how the song came about, the person that brought about that song.
Okay, so I had the idea of executive producing a project, you know, and I knew what I wanted. I knew that I wanted drill music, because I love drill music so much. I wanted drill to be the stamp of choice, you know, and I figured that the best way to actually go about this is to figure out a way to marry Afrobeat and drill music. Drill music is not our core. Afrobeat is our main music. You know, just find a way, because I love drill music. I just wanted to marry drill and Afrobeat, infuse it together. And then I figured, okay, I need to make this record. The idea came, I called Dakpotubona, who is an amazing, by the way, shout out Dakpotubona, who's an amazing talent, an amazing artist. I called him to come to the studio. You know, I played the beat for him. He was a bit skeptical about recording it, because he had not recorded something like that before. So like, let's do it, let's experiment, let's do something different. If we really want to win in this game, we need to do something different. And then he jumped on it, it sounded nice, and then I thought of a rapper that's going to fit in. So that this is like me, you know, exploring my A&R skill. You know, I thought of a rapper that I felt like would do better on the record, and Alpha Genie, who is a very prolific rapper, one of the best rappers when it comes to wordplay and delivery. You know, I love him so much. You know, shout out to Alpha Genie. He came, you know, and then recorded his verse, and it sounded so nice. I was like, okay, I think that song actually really started the journey, you know. And then I started making other records, featured with Mode Black, I worked with Scales, worked with Vector, you know, worked with a bunch of guys, you know, and then added some more female artists to the project. The project took me 2 years to work on, and then I'm happy that it came out so nice. Yeah. Recording of more songs on the project. So I equally worked on records with, like I said, Dream. I think Dream was actually the first record that I worked on, because when I shared the vision of what I wanted to do, he bought into the vision, because he is a big hip hop head. You know, I was like, let's do this. He came to the studio, was the first guy, so I respect him so much. He came to the studio and we recorded, and I sent it to one of my guys in the UK, who's by the name UG Official. You know, he liked the idea, he jumped on it, and that's how we made that record. And then I equally have another record on the project that I made with Alpha P and Jerick, all recorded in my studio. You know, I love the both of them. They all have this core representative of hip-hop. Like hip-hop, they have the lifestyle of hip-hop. I was like, okay, Alpha P, I like the way you sing, I like your voice. And then Jerick, I like the deep tone, you know, in your vocals. Let's just figure out a way to blend it in and then create this masterpiece. That's how we recorded the one with Alpha P, you know, and Jerick. The Vector one, I first recorded with Killer Tunes. Killer Tunes, by the way, is a producer who is also a singer, an artist now. A lot of people don't know so much about him singing, but I love his voice. I was like, yo, I want you to jump on this drill, record. I sent it to him, took a few weeks. He was able to record it because he's a very busy person. He's traveling around, and the timing was a bit off between the both of us. It was not aligning, but he later finally aligned, and then he recorded the song. I sent to Dumodu Black, who was not even popular then, but I saw the depth of his talent. I knew that this guy was unique, and I saw that he was going to blow up. I was like, come, let's make this record. And on that record, whatever he said on that record, everything he said on that record is a prophecy. It's happening in his life right now. Everything he said on that record. Just go back and listen to No Apologies, by King Lou featuring Killer Tunes and Odumodu Black. You see what I'm saying? Everything he said on that record, on his verse, is everything that's happening in his life right now. From meeting Skepta to performing in the UK, to touring the world. Everything he said on that record is what is happening right now. So that's just the power of prophecy. Yes, I made a bunch of other records on the project, featuring Vector, Ideal, Brian the Minister from Ghana, and we also worked on one called So Paid with Ria Sean and Rolin from South Africa. So I made sure, one thing for sure on that project, on the Militant Mindset project for sure, is I paid attention to the artists that I selected, were carefully selected, and then make sure I touched down some countries that really do hip hop, from South Africa to Ghana and then Nigeria, and then UK. They were all represented on the project. I think you should check it out. Militant Mindset is out on all stores. Just go stream it. Yo, this is King Lou, the Militant. Big shout out to everyone tuned in. Big shout out to all my fans around the world, in the US, Jamaican, and the Caribbean island. Just keep it locked on NoireTV.
NoireTV, showing on Verizon Fios channel 269, Optimum channel 1100, and on Digicel. Or on our website www.noiretv.com, or download the app from the App Store or Play Store.